I know if you're in the service, you are to be on time. So I want to be on time for the program today. I'm Margie Saul. I'm the Honor Flight of Home Marion Event Coordinator. Many of you I've talked to on the phone, by text, and mail or whatever. So this is the 6th Honor Flight at Home, and this is an exciting day. This program has been in the works for a year. So tomorrow, I'm starting on 2026. So. Thank you to our honored veterans, and all veterans are here today, as well as family and friends. I know many of you, when I came into the door, you said you were here to support the veterans. That means a lot to us and to them for their service to our great country. We're pleased to have Beth Johnson, the Executive Director of Honor Flight Columbus, with us today, and also other volunteers from Honor Flight Columbus. So please follow along in your program. We will first have the posting of the colors, and that will be by the Marion County Veterans Council, the pledge by the cadets from Marion Harding High School, and the national anthem will be by Miranda Werner, Grant Middle School instructor. If you are able, will you please stand?
Forward, forward. Keep your hope. Go.
The Marion Harding cadets, will you please be ready to post, to do the pledge, please?
Pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey.
Oh, Satan, oh, say, can you see by the Today, I also want to make a special thank you to the presidents who some of you saw during while you were sitting here in the auditorium. They were from the Marion County Historical Society, and so that's always a special treat to our veterans and guests. Also, Callie Gregory is the 2025 Marion, Ohio Popcorn Festival Queen, and so she stopped by, and I'm not sure whether she's still, yes, she's still here in the crowd. Would you stand up, Callie, and wave? We're so glad to have you here. This year, in 2025, there are many historical dates. The 250th anniversary of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps. Let's go back 81 years. Yesterday, June 6th, was D-Day. I would like to share with you the prayer given by President Roosevelt on June 6, 1944, as our troops launched the D-Day invasion. Please sit and remove your hats.
In this poignant hour, I ask you to join with me in prayer. Almighty God, our Son, pride of our nation, this day has set upon the mighty endeavor, a struggle to preserve our republic and to set free a suffering humanity. Lead them straight and true. Give strength to their arms, stoutness to their hearts, steadfastness in their faith. They will need thy blessings. Their road will be long and hard. For the enemy is strong. He may build back our forces. Success may not come with rushing speed, but we shall return again and again. And we know that by thy grace and by the righteousness of our cause, our sons will triumph. They will be sore tried by night and by day, without rest, until the victory is won. The darkness will be rent by noise and flame. Men's souls will be shaken with the violences of war. For these men are lately drawn from the way of peace. They fight not for the lust of conquest. They fight to end conflict. They fight to liberate. They fight to let justice arise and power and goodwill among all thy people. They yearn but for the end of battle, for their return to the haven of home. Help us, Almighty God, to rededicate ourselves to renewed faith in Thee.
Another date, on September 2nd of 1945, World War II ended, which will be 80 years ago this September. Now Beth Johnson, Executive Director of Honor Flight Columbus, will give us an overview of Honor Flight.
Thank you for having me. To all of our honored veterans, families, friends, and on behalf of all of us at Honor Flight Columbus, thank you for being here today. My name is Beth Johnson. I am proud to serve as the Executive Director of Honor Flight Columbus, and I'd like to take a moment to share some background on what Honor Flight is all about and how it led us here today. In 2004, long overdue memorial to our World War II veterans was finally dedicated in Washington, D.C. Shortly after, in Springfield, Ohio, a retired Air Force captain named Earl Morris, who was also a physician assistant at the VA and a private pilot, began asking his veteran patients if they planned to visit their memorial. Most said no. The reasons were usually financial limitations or challenges of travel. So Earl came up with a plan. He asked fellow pilots to volunteer their time, planes, and resources to fly these World War II heroes to Washington, D.C. at no cost to the veteran. He also asked those pilots personally to escort the veterans throughout the day. In January 2005, Earl pitched the idea to about 150 members of his local Aero Club. 11 pilots immediately said yes, and Honor Flight was born. The very first Honor Flight took place on May 21st, 2005, just 20 years ago. By the end of that first year, 137 World War II veterans had been flown to their memorial. By 2006, the program had grown so much that commercial jets replaced small planes to keep up with the demand. In that year alone, another 300 veterans made the journey. Honor Flight Columbus officially launched in 2007. In the early days, we used commercial flights and took around 45 veterans per trip. A few years later, we began chartering airplanes. Now we fly 80 to 85 veterans per mission, and accompanied by 40 to 45 volunteer guardians. To date, Honor Flight Columbus has flown more than 10,300 veterans to Washington, D.C. We are proud to be the first hub of the Honor Flight network and one of over 130 Honor Flight hubs across 43 states. Nationally, more than 317,000 senior veterans have taken their Honor Flight at no cost to them. Yes, we are Honor Flight, but our mission is so much bigger than flying. It is to honor, to share, and to celebrate our senior veterans. As time goes on and our World War II and Korea War heroes age, many can no longer make that trip to Washington. Just as Earl took action in 2005, we at Honor Flight Columbus have committed to bring the Honor Flight experience to them right here at home. And for that, we owe a huge thanks to Marion's own Margie Saul. After being involved with a similar program in Florida, Margie approached Honor Flight Columbus with a heartfelt request. Can we do this in Ohio? And Margie's vision helped bring this special program to life. When our board of directors at the time, back in 2017, first considered this idea, someone asked, why should we do this? Isn't our job to fly veterans to Washington? Then someone said, why not? And if not us, who? And if not now, when? So just like an actual honor flight, today begins with many of the same traditions that we have on flight day. You get checked in, you got your shirts, you got your picture, and as the program today unfolds, we'll take you on a visual journey through Washington, D.C., visiting the same memorials and moments that our flying veterans experience. And just like our mission to the Capitol, we've got a few surprises in store throughout the day here today too. So sit back, relax, and let us honor you, our veterans. We honor your service, we remember your sacrifice, and from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. Thank you for your service, and thank you for allowing us to serve you today.
Okay, on your program next will be the salute to the branches of the service. And so on your table, you have a flag. If you'd like to wave it when your name is called, the branch is called. We'll be doing the different branches of the service. And Miranda Werner here is going to be our vocalist. And so let's sing these out proud when we hear those songs today. And and you will stand when your branch of service is called. If you can't stand, wave your flag.
Over hill, over dale, over hill, over dale, we have hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high in the field of artillery, count out your numbers loud and strong. And wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons are rolling along. Baby, fingers away, my boys, fingers away. Farewell to college boys, we sail Africa, through our last time on shore, hail to the floor, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Coast Guard, we're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through howling gale and shot and shell, to win the victory. Semper Optus is our guide, for pledge and motto too. We're always ready through our time. Like a storm, we fight for you. Air Force, off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high to the sun. Here they come to meet our thunder. Our boys hear the gun. Down we glide, scouting our flame from under. Off with one terrible roar. We live and dream, we're loud and big. Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. Marines! Walls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, the United States Marine. To victory.
Should be on now. There we go. Just needed to be touched, I guess. Okay. That was absolutely wonderful, Miranda. Thank you for sharing your musical talent. She's the instructor at Grant Middle School in Marion City. Next, we have our speaker, who is Colonel Kenneth W. Fryman, U.S. Air Force, retired. Colonel Fryman was born in Radnor, Ohio, and graduated from Buckeye Valley High School in 1966. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree from the Ohio State University in 1970 and a Master's in Business Administration from Webster University. Colonel Fryman was commissioned a second lieutenant through the Air Force Reserve and entered active duty in 1971. He is a career personnel officer with a wide variety of assignments, which include tours of duty in San Antonio, Thailand, West Germany, Alabama, New Mexico, Nebraska, Ohio, and Montana. He retired from the United States Air Force in 2000 as the Base Inspector General with almost 30 years of active duty service. He has received several military awards. In 2002, he began an 11-year career with the United States Marshal Service. His wife is also Colonel Mary K. Fryman, U.S. Air Force, retired. It is my honor to introduce Kenneth W. Fryman, U.S. Air Force, retired.
Well, thank you, Margie, for that kind introduction. You can tell I've been around a long time. That's what happens when you get to be old. It is truly an honor and privilege to be here with you today for the 6th annual honor flight ceremony and to honor our honored veterans and our older veterans, those who served between 1941 and 1975. And they're all right here in front of me in the first 4 rows on either side. You know, I wasn't sure I could get in my uniform today. It seems like many of you had that same situation. It seems my weight distribution had shifted a little south, and somehow I managed to squeeze into my shrinking uniform. By a show of hands, and this is going to be kind of spotty here a little bit. I'd like to know which era you served in. I know we don't have any World War II vets here today, but most of us had a father, grandfather, relative, or family friend who served in World War II. You know, they are the greatest generation and will remain the greatest generation. 80 years since that war ended. So let's give those folks our relatives. Korean War period, the forgotten war. Let's see those folks. Let's raise your hands here. The forgotten war. And Vietnam, the unpopular conflict. Most of you here today, I know how unpopular it was, and how I, and probably you, were not treated very good, whether you were in country or not. This year marks 50 years since that war was officially over. So we all have stories about our time if you were in the Vietnam War era. Thank you for your service. You're all heroes and should be very proud of your contribution to our country. I wish somehow I could get you to Washington, D.C. to see the various memorials and permanently showcase what the nation thinks of you. They are truly awe-inspiring and something to behold in person. Last year, I attended the Traveling Vietnam Memorial Wall in Delaware, and it brought back those same range of emotions when I first saw it in 1984. And I just learned there is a Traveling Korean War Memorial. If you get a chance, please visit those traveling memorials. While they are not the same as being in Washington, D.C., they are still amazing. But before I go on, I'd like to do 2 things. First, I'd like to thank Margie Saul for organizing, planning, and executing this important event. Thanks, Margie. The other is to point out the other service heroes we have with us today. Those who served in the military sometime after 1975. Perhaps during the Cold War, Bosnia, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, the Second Desert War, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, the global war on terror, and other important operations. Would you also raise your hand if you recognize? In the fall of 1972, while I was stationed at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas, I was a freshly promoted first lieutenant. When I was called into my commander's office, normally that's not a good thing. But on this occasion, he said he volunteered me for a special base project. Again, normally not a good thing. So I dutifully reported to the project officer where I was informed I would be part of Operation Egress Recap. Does anyone know what that is? Anyone? It's not surprising. As it turned out, the government changed the name from Operation Egress Recap to Operation Homecoming in early 1973. And I was to be an escort officer for one of the returning POWs. Now, the war was still being waged, so we had no idea when a release might take place. But I was honored to be chosen. My duties weren't complicated, just help facilitate whatever the individual needed or wanted. And then it happened. In February 1973, the first American POWs were released and returned to American soil. My POW, an Air Force Captain B-52 Navigator, with a broken back, was carried upon a C-141 Freedom Bird and returned to America. In this case, the Wilford Hall Medical Center on Lackland. During my time with my former POW, I had the opportunity to interact with several other POWs, and I recall there were over 20 of them at the hospital in Lackland. What I learned was that they didn't consider themselves heroes. They considered themselves just ordinary people during their job that just didn't go quite as expected. But they all had similar traits. They were all patriots who loved their country. They had made great sacrifices, both during and before their POW status. But they were grateful for the opportunity to make those sacrifices. And after listening to story after story of their capture and captivity, they became an inspiration to me and our fellow countrymen. Regardless of what era you may have served in many respects, you had those same qualities when you were on active duty of those returning POWs. You may have been drafted, or you volunteered to join the service, but there was still that sense of patriotism that accompanied your joining. Many of us didn't have the opportunity to choose what we were going to do as the needs of the service took precedence. We became infantrymen, cooks, mechanics, bomb loaders, truck drivers, personnel, launch specialists, pilots, whatever was needed. That's what we did. While we may have complained about the job or the military, and virtually all of us did, I know all of you did. We knew, you knew, this was a team activity, and everyone depended on someone else to do their job to accomplish the mission. You were problem solvers and risk takers. You did whatever it took to get the job done, and sometimes that was pretty creative. And each and every one of you did. You were, and still are, a patriot. And in doing your military job, you sometimes had to make sacrifices. Working 20-hour shifts in a hellhole in a faraway country. On board ship for 10 months at a time, missing important birthdays and anniversaries, sometimes missing the birth of a child, or maybe not being with a parent who is gravely ill. Those sacrifices were made to accomplish whatever mission you were assigned to do. But you were part of something much larger than yourself. You were helping defend America. There is nothing more personally satisfying than mission accomplishment, especially in the face of adversity. And because of your patriotism and sacrifice, you became an inspiration. Just look around this room. You became an inspiration to your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, your community, and your nation. Look over here. You'll see part of that. They are all thankful for what you did and accomplished in your military career, and they couldn't be more proud of you or your service. As President Kennedy once said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Well, what you did for your country was put your life on the line every day, whether you were in the war zone or not. Not many people can say that. We veterans are a small but tightly knit community. You understand duty, honor, courage, and commitment. You understand what I'm saying. Others will not and cannot. Indeed, you are an inspiration to this generation and for generations to come, just like those POWs. And while you can't make it to Washington, D.C. to see the various war memorials, please know that they were built to honor you and to provide a lasting legacy to your patriotism, valor, and sacrifice. But most importantly, to provide the inspiration to future generations of what it takes to keep America free. You made that happen, and for that, I salute you. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Fireman, retired Air Force. We really appreciate your kind words and knowing that the veterans are appreciated. Veterans, you are heroes, and you are to be commended and for your service. Now today when you came in, you registered, you got a shirt, and then you had a lanyard put on. So that's what we do when we go to honor our veterans in Washington, D.C. However, today, you're going to sit in your chair, and Beth Johnson, the Executive Director of Honor Flight Compass, is going to come forward, and you're going to take a virtual tour with her to Washington, D.C.
Each year, we take between 6 and 12 trips to visit the memorial. Our one-day trip leaves on a charter flight from John Glenn Columbus International Airport early on Thursday. After landing in Washington, we travel on 3 tour buses to visit the memorials. We stop at the Navy Memorial on Pennsylvania Avenue in downtown D.C. This memorial contains water from all 7 oceans. and the lone sailor holds watch. As we drive on Washington, we go past the White House and the Capitol. On to the World War II Memorial. The arches for the Atlantic and Pacific campaigns dominate the memorial. The Price of Freedom Wall of Stars visually represents the cost of World War II. Each star on the wall represents 100 Americans who died or remained missing. There are over 4,000 stars. Over 400,000 made the ultimate sacrifice. Wrapping around the memorial are 56 towers representing the 48 states and territories during the war. Opposite the Freedom Wall are the bas-reliefs depicting the all-out mobilization of American agricultural, industrial, military, and human resources during the war. A beautiful fountain is in the middle. And of course, Kilroy made it to the memorial. After the World War II memorial, we traveled to the Lincoln Memorial. 8 years in building, this memorial opened in 1922. We find that quite a few of the vets have never visited the memorial. So if time permits, we trek up the steps to the elevator. Adjacent to the Lincoln Memorial and next to the reflecting pool is the Korean Memorial. The Korean Memorial has 19 soldier statues representing all branches of the service. They are dressed to depict the cold winds blowing in Korea. At the Korean Memorial, we honor the over 36,000 Americans who died in hostile actions during the Korean War. Of these, over 8,000 are listed as missing in action or buried at sea. On the other side of the reflecting pool is the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The wall contains the names of over 58,000 Americans either killed or missing in action. Also part of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial is the three soldier statue and the Vietnam Women's Memorial. Always in our view is the Washington Monument. Taking over 20 years to build, it opened in 1877. Next stop is the newest Armed Forces Memorial, the Air Force Memorial. This memorial was built in 2006. Good thing, as it is in the flight path of the airplane that flew into the Pentagon on 9/11. Over 200 feet tall, the three spires dominate the landscape adjacent to Arlington and the Pentagon. For his inspiration, the architect's design uses the contrails of the Air Force Thunderbirds as they peel back in a precision bomb burst maneuver. Our next stop is Arlington National Cemetery. where Honor Flight is the only group permitted to take our tour buses inside. We may visit a popular gravesite or witness a funeral service at the cemetery. The highlight is a visit to the amphitheater, where we watch the changing of the guard. Very emotional. This is time for all to reflect. A tribute to the Marines, the Iwo Jima Memorial sits adjacent to Arlington National Cemetery. This iconic memorial depicts the famous flag raising during the Battle on the Road. Nearing the end of our tour, we visit the Military Women's Memorial.
Located at the entrance to Arlington National Cemetery, this is the nation's only major national memorial to honor all women who have defended the nation. It is a perfect venue to reflect on what we've seen and the new friendships we have enjoyed. We fit in as much as we can during the day. The Women's Memorial provides a beautiful view of the Lincoln Memorial in one direction and the National Cemetery in the other. After this whirlwind tour, it's back to the airplane for the trip home. It is a long day full of memories.
So that showed you what your flight would be like in going to DC and to enjoy those memorials. But today, the next thing we're going to do is a mail call. And I'd like to just prep you for that. This program is open to both men and women. And today we do have one lady to be honored. And we have 19 veterans, honored veterans, one lady and 18 men. So the mail call is always a favorite for the veterans. So Beth Johnson, Executive Director of Honor Flight Columbus, will assist with the mail call and some other Honor Flight volunteers.
Like Margie said, the mail call is very important to our veterans, and it's a really special time on our trip to get mail. So when you were in the service, mail was the lifeline to home. You knew what was going on by what the mailman brought you. So what we are going to do is recreate a mail call for you. So when your name is announced, if you can raise your hand, and one of our Honor Flight volunteers will bring your mail to you. The first veteran is Gary Augustine. Gary served during the Vietnam era in the Army. He was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. He was a clerk typist in the personnel office. Thank you for your service, Gary, and welcome home. Our next veteran is Donald Belt. Donald served during the Vietnam era in the Marines. He was a radio operator in the 1st Battalion 9 Marine Walking Dead. Sometimes they were close to the enemy and food didn't come in a timely manner, but when helicopters would drop boxes of food, they would run to get a box. If not, ate the bark off banana trees. Thank you for your service, Donald, and welcome home. Next, we have Bud Bishop. Mr. Bishop served during the Korea era in the Navy. He was on the USS Vaman DE-644. He was a machinist mate 3rd class rating. Thank you for your service, Bud, and welcome home. Next, we have Richard Drake. Mr. Drake served during the Cold War, 1955 to 1961, and in the Vietnam era in the Navy. He was stationed at Fort Bliss. He was accompanied in the Nike Hercules missile throughout Texas for Expedition 1960 to 1961. Thank you for your service, Richard, and welcome home. Next, we have Mark Francis. Mark served during the Vietnam era in the Army. After leaving Fort Hays in Columbus, Ohio, he went to Fort Jackson in Columbus, South Carolina for basic training. Then transferred to Fort Gordon, Georgia, and received training as a military policeman. In Vietnam, he was stationed at Long Binh. There, he rode tanks, providing security for convoys to many different cities. Later, he was in Vung Ngo, Vietnam, and was on security duty with General Westmoreland. Thank you for your service, Mark, and welcome home. Next, we have Bob Hood. Bob served during the Cold War, 1955 to 1961, and the Vietnam era in the Navy. He was on an aircraft carrier, Enterprise, and Intrepid. Thank you, Bob, for your service, and welcome home. Next, we have Diana Grooms. She served during the Vietnam era, 1972 to 1975, in the Navy as a corpsman. Duty stations included Portsmouth and Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you for your service, Diana, and welcome home. Next, we have Cliff Harris. Cliff served during the Korea era in the Army. He was stationed in Germany and worked in a medical unit and also a supply center. He retired after 30 years. Thank you, Cliff, for your service, and welcome home. Next, we have Bob Hogan. Mr. Hogan served during the Vietnam era in the Air Force. He was stationed in Panama in 1966 through 1968. He was a cook and drove a truck. Thanks, Bob, for your service, and welcome home. Next, we have Jim Lockhart. Jim served during the Korea War era in the Army. He served during 1953 to 1955 in the artillery. He was a mechanic driver. Thank you, Jim, for your service and welcome home. Next, we have Floyd Mollenkoff. Served during the Vietnam era in the Army. He was a helicopter mechanic stationed in Germany. Thank you, Floyd, for your service and welcome home. Next, we have David Pierce. David served during the Vietnam era in the Army. He was in the 282nd Helicopter Company and was a Huey mechanic. Thank you, David, for your service and welcome home. Next, we have Wayne Pletcher. Wayne served during the Korea era in the Air Force. He was a tail gunner on a B-29. He was a boom operator on a KC-97. He was stationed in various bases in the United States. Thank you, Wayne, for your service and welcome home. Wayne, can you raise your hand? I'll take it. Thank you, sir. Next, we have Phil Reed. Phil served during the Cold War, 1955-1961, and the Vietnam era in the Army. He was a mailman and was a drummer in the fife and drum. Thank you, Phil, for your service and welcome home, sir. Next is Ron Smith. Ron served during the post-Vietnam era. He is 65 and has at least one day active duty service, which is the eligibility for Honor Flight Columbus. So thankful he's here. He served in Beirut, Lebanon, twice. He was there for the Bob Hope Christmas special in Beirut. So thank you so much for your service, Ron, and welcome home. Next, we have Tyrone Spence. Mr. Spence served during the Vietnam era in the Army. He served twice overseas. He was a sharpshooter, received the National Defense Medal, Service Medal, and the Vietnam Campaign Medal with 3 stars. Thank you, Tyrone, for your service and welcome home, sir. Next, we have Doug Byrne, served during Korea War era in the Navy. He was on the USS Solero Bay, CVE 110, was a hospital corpsman in the psychiatric wards in the U.S. Navy Hospital. Thank you for your service, Doug, and welcome home. Next, we have Willie Winters. Served during the Korea and Cold War eras and then in the Air Force. He was in Hawaii in 1954 to 1957 and was a clerk typist. Thank you, Willie, for your service, sir, and welcome home. We have one more time slip. So did every veteran that's being honored, did you get an envelope? Wonderful. Well, take time to read. There's some personal letters in there from family and friends, and then there's also Grateful American cards and letters from just people who want to thank you for your service. Your service means so much to us, and we cannot do what we do without the service that you provided to us. So thank you so much.
Thank you again to the honored veterans, and thanks to all the veterans that are in this room today, and those folks that came to support. I know in the newspaper and radio stations and other ways that I try to get the word out, many people said, oh, I just want to come and support the veterans. So it's wonderful that you're here today. So the next item on the agenda for the program is to sing God Bless America. So I'd like to call forward Miranda Werner, and let's give this a real big God Bless America and belt it out. Stand if you're able and wave your flag. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you. You're going to be seated. Many veterans programs end with God Bless America, and that's just kind of a finale that we have done in years past. So at this time, we would like to have the benediction by Tim Sherrick. He is an Army Veteran Mission Officer, and he's from Morrow County.
Thank you. Thank you, veterans. We salute you. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, as we come to the close of this special day, we thank you for the men and women we honor, our veterans who answered the call of duty with courage, dignity, and unwavering commitment. We are humbled by their sacrifices, inspired by their service, and forever indebted to their legacy. Lord, bless every and each veteran here today. Surround them with peace, strength, and the gratitude of a grateful nation. May they return back home with full hearts, knowing that their stories matter, their service is not forgotten, and their lives have made a difference. Bless their families, who have also borne the weight of sacrifice, and grant them continued love and comfort. As we go our separate ways, may we carry the spirit of this day with us, honoring the past, serving in the present, and hoping for a future guided by peace. Go with us now, Lord, in your grace and protection. Amen.
Thank you, Tim. We will now have the returning of the colors by the Marion County Veterans Council. Stand if you're able. Thank you. You may be seated. Veterans who are honored today for the honor flight of Home Marion, we hope that you have been shown respect and appreciation for your service. We hope that this will be a memorable day. This program is being made possible by the contributors listed in your program. If you please look at your program, there's contributors. There's also many, many volunteers that have made possible for this day. We plan to have the next honor flight at Home Marion next year, here, June 6th of 2026. That's 6/6/26. So hopefully that's easy for you to remember. So I want everyone to put that on their calendar. We'll see you next year. And I want you to bring a veteran or someone with you. Putting this program together, I have so many volunteers that say, Margie, when are you going to have it the next year? They put it on their calendar, they show up, we get everything done. The most challenging thing is to find the veterans, to locate them. Today we have veterans from Orville, seated at the front table here. When I got the call, I said, oh, Smuckers, because that's what I'm associated with Orville, Ohio. And so I was glad to branch out to that county. So I hope that they will be advocates too, when they see other veterans, to say, hey, there's a program in Marion, Ohio. Because this is the only program that Honor Flight Columbus has approved in the state of Ohio. It's impossible for me to travel all over the state of Ohio getting the word out. So I send out lots of notices to American Legion, the FW Post, but you, now that you've experienced this program today, are my advocates to go out and spread the word. On the information table in the hall, there's a table for Honor Flight Columbus, as well as Honor Flight at Home. When I see veterans and I'm out and about and I have a veteran cap on, I thank them for their service. I ask them if they've been on Honor Flight to Washington, D.C. If they say have not, my next question is, can you fly? In my purse, I carry applications for Honor Flight at Home and for Honor Flight Columbus. So if I'm in Walmart, Kroger's, I might take a little longer shopping, but that's okay. I'm talking to veterans, convincing them they need to be honored, whether it be going on to D.C. or coming to the Marion program. So on that table out there, there's the application to send in to Columbus, and then the Marion program, I already have the flyers for next year with an application attached, so you can pick those up. We need your help in honoring veterans. As of today, we have honored, this is the 6th program, 135 veterans who are honored here in Marion. So 135 is over a plan. So we need to find the others. So spread the word. As of tomorrow, as I mentioned, I'm planning for next year. So thanks again for coming. We appreciate you and hope you had a great afternoon. At this time, I'm going to have the veterans and the one that is sitting with you. So anyone sitting at the tables, if you will please stay seated. You'll be leaving in a few minutes, but not right now. We're going to take care of some other things. All right, those of you that have come to support the veterans that are in the chairs behind, if you will go out into the hallway, the Honor Flight Columbus volunteers will give you directions. Thanks again for coming, and safe travels home.
Okay, oh, you actually had to. Okay, so Bud Bishop and Ron Smith. I'm just gonna actually do their. I'm actually just gonna do their first and last name because I cannot read their name tags very well. So we have Bud Bishop and Ron Smith. Let's welcome them home. All right, let's cheer them on. Let's be loud and cheer them on. Next, we have Mr. Cliff Harris, Korea War veteran. Mr. Cliff Harris, let's make some noise. Woo! Next, we have Mr. Bob Hogan. Welcome Next, we have Bob Good. Welcome home, sir. Welcome home. The next veteran is Wayne Pletcher. Mr. Pletcher, welcome home, sir. Keep the cheers coming. They can hear you in the auditorium. Next, we have Mark Francis. Let's cheer loud and proud, loud and proud. Next, we have Phil Reed. Phil Reed, welcome home, sir. Next, we have Donald Belt. Welcome home, Donald. Welcome home, sir. Next is Diana Grooms. Welcome home. Welcome home.